to you, but I don't know if you know this, but you actually just broke.
Bit of tea, though. This is informative reporting. We have to do our due diligence now and report this room.
Supporters on this app, but surprisingly, there are a few Muslims that also hate Amir, or some Arabs that hate Amir. Hate seems to.
They have rooms now. They're into sex trafficking. Like that's problematic. Can we agree that saying that these are the good people of the app, that we should start reevaluating?
There's someone in this room, Mojo, that's reporting back to that room. I took pictures of the chat. They're talking crazy shit about this room right now.
Maybe
they're talking about JB. I took screenshots of everything. But there's somebody in this room that was in here called Momo, that's saying that we're streaming their room in this room.
Oh, Momo. Momo is a double agent. We're going to make Momo famous.
Fourth, please ask them to stop the sex trafficking, because it's a crime and it's horribly exploitative to women. It's a filthy thing to do, and they have to stop it immediately. I mean, they've been promoting murder and terror for years, but now they've crossed the line.
So,
speaking of sex traffickers.
Yeah, just saw him pop in and pop out.
Roger, Momo is Mo.
I just sent you the screenshot, Roger.
Yep, I have it. So, Mo is, we're going to get Mo kicked off the app today.
It's very disgusting.
Yep.
We will get Mo kicked off the app.
But going back to the news, we do have.
And they're trying to box the shit out of JB. They put his first and last name in the chat there.
Let's see.
I mean, a lot of people know.
Hold on. If they're doing that, then we should.
Oh yeah, that soccer player. He was waiting in line at the aid side, and actually a football player, right? Suleiman Al Obeid was killed in Gaza, and apparently IDF is coming and saying that we don't know anybody.
I'm already famous, bro. Some of these pieces of shits like to pass articles around about me.
That's true. I have received an article.
Football Federation has
about
said. I mean, they have not said his name. They have said that he is.
He's completely open about it. He paid a debt. It was a very serious debt. And as far as I can say, a person has a right to do wrong because we're all human, and to pay your debt, which he did openly and admits openly, he doesn't lie about it. And as far as I'm concerned, that's his redemption. And he now rejoins us as a beloved friend. He did the wrong thing. He's never going to do it again, and I support him.
Thanks, Noel. I appreciate it. I was staying out of this space, not because I don't like Mojo or Roger. It's because of the people he has around him. Some of the people I have around him are just fucking plot waffles. Phony motherfuckers. And you know what? I don't want to disrespect his space. But, yo, any of you people have a problem, you step to me. Let's have a one-on-one conversation. You know, some of you motherfuckers killed your husband. But I don't talk on that. Or abuse your fucking kids. I don't talk on that. Keep my name out of your fucking mouth, because I promise you, if I come, I'm coming heavy. Move a fucking wall.
Who is this idiot?
Message it, Shirley. This is the person who was talking about the sex trafficking that he's doing in Switzerland and Dubai.
The crazy thing is, he says after he says the story, and I took screenshots. He said after I said the story, the chat in that room talking about this room as well.
Wait, why do you think that it's sex trafficking? Because I didn't follow that. So he paid somebody to spit on him. That's like, how do you know it's just not like a
He
kink?
goes to Dubai and Switzerland and gets women to go with him and to have sex with him, just say, for money, and then doesn't pay them and tries to get rid of them, and then says, "Oh, I'm with you," and get them to spit on him. So I don't know if you understand the concept of sex trafficking, but it's prostitution. It's taking advantage of women
Well, deep
Well, I
state
mean, like, that sounds
patriots. Well, I gotta say,
Exactly.
Ben Mendelsohn was talking about the same thing in Deep State Patriots, how he went to the Bunny Ranch in Vegas and had sex with a 21-year-old nurse from Santa Monica College. These people,
which is known by the crime, and this is an international crime called sex trafficking, and it's a huge problem in the world.
So prostitution is sex trafficking?
These women, they take advantage of them. They're not free to come and go. They have other people who are like they're exploiting them. They're like running them. They get the money. Yeah, that's what sex trafficking is.
Okay,
Surprised you didn't know.
so these women, okay, well, the prostitutes I've met, when trust...
Trafficking, that's between you and your God and your parole officer. I'm reporting to you what we just heard in that room. If you don't understand it, look it up. It's a massive problem. The United Nations is dealing with it. They've discovered this in Gaza. If you want, we can put the link at the top of the room. They take people of other ethnicities and nationalities. One example is Yazidi women. Another example is the Moroccan women, the 1111 described in the room. And they exploit them for sexual purposes. It's a horrendous thing. I don't know what their ages are. But this is Epstein level shit. It's disgusting. And I don't recommend that you try to apologize for it because you're only going to get yourself into a very bad light.
No, listen, I say what's on my mind. If you don't like what I'm saying, then, express that. But
I think you should probably think about what you're going to say now before you say it. Because you're right now in the rough women. There's a room on the snap.
Being trafficked to China to this day. Why don't you watch an episode of Trafficked if you're not? I was talking to those that don't understand trafficking. But we have children being sold at young ages of 6, 13, 16, underage women being sold by their family to the China. Yes, girls. Trafficking, sex trafficking. We have women that are over 18 also being trafficked and being sold, put into dark rooms. 3 women in a room being sold for sex. With the promise, they're going there with the promise of getting married and having children, like wives, buying a wife. That's what's happening. That's the Vietnamese end. This is just the Vietnamese end. So yeah, it's happening everywhere. It's a major big deal. And they're being trafficked against their will, sex being sold against their will. They're being sold like cattle.
And this is what I heard with my ears in that room. That the fellow who calls himself Amir, that's not his real name. Not going to say his real name in the room, but we know it. And he wasn't the only one. And nobody responded. Nobody said anything condemnatory about it. They were literally laughing about it.
Norm, did you record any of it?
No.
Did I know what, Jane?
what Norm's talking about. I thought you would.
No, Norm hit me offline. He's like, hey, they're running this room. I said, all right. I was like, I'll open the room and have the debates. And then he hit me back. He said, he's in Mojo's room. Come in. I said, all right, let's go. But see these fucking twat waffles, right? All of them. All the shit. You know, where's Ann? Ann's on stage. She'll tell you about the rooms that we ran, the people that we helped. And they want to stand on my dick. Right? Send articles around from 16 years ago. Fuck these people. All fucking frauds.
What are you talking about, JB?
If they don't apply, let it fly.
Well, to my knowledge, I'm the only one on this stage with a dead husband, and I know you weren't implying that I killed him.
Listen, like I said, if it don't apply, let it fly. If you kill him, that's your business. You gotta deal with God, not me.
In the a nice person, I hope. I don't want to explaining what the protocol is on international flights. How to tell if no eye contact, not allowed to speak, doesn't hold ticketing or passport. That's what. So apparently, this lady is trying to fight sex trafficking and looking for the signs of it. And we just heard a confession in the other room, in a room that is usually dedicated to advocating for the genocide of Jews, and they switched to sex trafficking. It's a nexus of crime and vice. I am just sickened by it. I mean, I have kids in the house right now, and I don't even want to be in a place where they can hear me talk about this. I don't want them to hear that people can be be so evil.
I think good is new.
The worst part about it is there's people in this room that simp for this room and Amir's room, and they go in there and they talk with them like they're best friends with all those people in there. About it, and then that she was trying to simp for them just 10 minutes ago. That's fucking crazy.
But they do.
In the mouth, we only mod vaginas.
I have it. Go ahead, mod me, Mojo.
Well, we have a problem with
in
that.
any event, the United States and Israel rescued during this war a Yazidi woman who was sex trafficked for 10 years, and both Al Jazeera and the BBC reported on it. And apparently, as Roger said, I think Mojo said not long ago, Iranian Revolutionary Genocide Republic, they marriage for a night. So they have people that they're sex trafficking and get around the religious restrictions. They actually perform a marriage, then they exploit them, and then they quickly annul the marriage. That's how it works in the together, the nexus of, I'm quite sure that there's drugs involved in this as well, because that's how they finance the terror. The whole thing is coming from sex trafficking, the terror, and the genocide and the drugs. I'm getting like a pain in my heart from being a witness to this.
Hey, baby, nice to see you.
I mean, how do you explain, Las Vegas bunny ranches, and being able to actually operate broad?
Or probably, let's see how old the state is. It's been here for, we're getting close to 100 years. You got a problem with it?
No, I'm just saying, we're $37 trillion in debt, and if prostitutes want to fuck and make money, and you asked me if I had a problem with it.
Let her go.
Take it up with the Nevada legislature.
You asked me if I had a problem with it.
Republicans and the Democrats have supported it here for 100 years, and it's an incredibly regulated industry here. They're tested on a weekly basis. But you can go visit it if you want.
Route that terrorists travel on or could potentially travel.
No, I don't want to be Eskimo brothers with Ben Mendelsohn. Sorry, Abby.
But Abby, they are free to go. They're free to live. They don't have to do it.
Security reasons. But you don't have no idea about security.
Oh my God, no.
You don't really appreciate
about these women that it won Sundance and a bunch of festivals.
I'll put the name in the chat. It's something like Sababa.
Sabab, something like that. It means slave in their language, or sex slave. It's the word for it. And they did a documentary of trying to rescue those women. It is a very powerful documentary. I think it came out 2 years ago.
Well, Ben Mendelsohn helped put a prostitute through college at Santa Monica University by boinking her at a bunny ranch. That's a deep state patriot.
Where did you get this shit?
Where do I get this from? It's on my YouTube channel. Let me send you the link of Ben Mendelsohn talking about 3 minutes of him banging a prostitute at the bunny ranch.
Listen, we're talking about something very different here. In the case of, like I said, these women are not trafficked. They're, if you will, free to come and go. What we're talking about is women who are not free to come and go, who are being exploited.
No, I know. I'm being facetious.
Conflating.
I'm being facetious.
Serious business, John. Serious business.
Did you see Amir just he popped in the bottom when he left?
You should mod Abby, maybe.
But is it an Islamic thing to traffic women?
It's called Sabaya.
I don't see any Jews modded.
Because they...
Sabaya is the name of the movie, but it's a real problem.
Who said I don't see any Jews modded?
I mean, if you got 4 wives, you are a player, in Islam.
This room is different. Just fucking around, Pops. Just fucking.
Oh, no, not you. Just all of it. The entire galaxy. the entire universe in the muff right now. It's pretty.
Is there a douche in the muff?
We did this conversation constructively with this on Clubhouse before, and I feel like I'm up to it. I filmed in some pretty hairy locations in Bosnia during and after the war.
All that for nothing. With just the click of a button, you're gonna hear the worst of the worst.
Yeah, but some of it's not legal.
Well, then record it and send it to the FBI.
Hey, let Shirley talk. John, I am a mom.
Oh, I don't remember because I have a strict rule not to interface with these kind of things because when you're a grandmother, there's somebody trying to scam you all the time. But I have gotten messages either, and that's how crazy it is. I don't know if it's on Instagram or my dadgum phone. This 111, and I have just thought, oh God, that is so weird. What is that? And I just have not interfaced with it because it's just weird messaging on my phone, either on Instagram or maybe text messages. But I think, and it's probably Instagram, because I'm talking to people that would do that. Okay, I sound hysterical.
Why is there another penis moderator?
I did it. It's Jew. I had to do it for Norm.
Oh my God.
I know, we don't even get it wrong. It's like a tribal matter.
Okay, so wait, hold on. So we're going to have to redefine the rules. So I can mod, women can mod, Jews can mod. That'll be rule number one.
Okay.
All I'm saying is,
what is going on an airplane? Could you tell me what I've been missing?
our patrilineal Jews also offered mod badges.
Wait, hold on. Can someone just give me a recap here?
Abby, after going into Jerry's room and hearing him promote genocide of Jews, terror against Jews, anti-Semitism, and violence against people in Israel, day in and day out, people in his room screaming.
Or a Jew, please let me know. We want to make sure that we democratize the moderation.
You got Abby. Abby's mom. Hearing people say that they're going to put us in ovens, they're going to grill us, they're going to hunt us down, and so forth. Tonight, I heard of your platforming sex trafficking. I'm just speechless. A person describing it going to Dubai and Switzerland, getting women to go with him to hotel rooms, getting women of different ethnic groups and exploiting them. This is something that he does regularly. It was a person with the screen name 111, or maybe it was 41. I don't remember now. Unbelievable experience, Abby. It was shocking.
Wow, that's anyone get recordings or
I just want to know the story. I'm a woman.
probably a hotline. It's probably some kind of hotline. Mojo, I'm a woman and a Jew. Do I
You
count?
too, my bad. You're a win-win.
I have a question. Does anybody know this I'm loading that character?
No.
It's a troll. Okay.
Who is unloading?
There are a lot of mods right
Can
now.
we just go back to this for a second, Norm? There's probably a lot, if there's recordings of it, that you can report that to. That's
Recordings, as far as I know, and I reported the room as soon as I heard it, and I didn't want to be anywhere near it. And I did.
John, did you get it? John got it.
No, I've been working this positive mojo vibration for a couple of days now. I gave up.
Yeah, John, what the hell?
Really, John?
Well, I'm sorry. My mental health matters too. I can't listen to terrorists and pedophiles and rapists all day long.
You record all this other dog shit, but you don't get a criminal trafficking room
Conversation.
I encourage you all to get a burner account and an anonymous account and record these pricks instead of offloading it onto me, you lazy clown house clickers.
All right, that's fair.
was
Very easy, Norm. You do a
You
screen
lazy
record. It's
clown.
very
No, I don't do it because I don't want to, not because I don't know how.
Fair
I'm
enough.
extremely
Yeah.
adept technically. I
I know.
really don't want to.
Come on, I'm not criticizing.
Yeah, I don't feel criticized.
I've done it a few times myself.
I do
I
not
think
feel
you can only be in the audience, though, right?
It just makes a stronger case for law enforcement to have a recording.
It really does.
Well, you know who definitely has a recording?
Clubhouse.
Bingo.
Bingo, bingo.
So I put something very funny in the chat. I don't know if anyone saw the John Oliver piece he did on Schumer and the imaginary couple. Has anyone seen that? And the Baileys? Anyway, I put it in the chat. It's very funny. Schumer's made up a fictional couple that he said he basically structured his whole political career around this couple and their politics, but they're fake. And he writes about them in his book, and as if they're real people. It's you just have to see the piece.
He's a terrible guy. Sick of him.
Yeah, but this is his own side exposing him.
I'm on his side.
Okay, just put it in the chat.
I'm on his side.
You are all a bunch of lazy clown house fake hypocrite complainers. Do something. Record Amir's room.
What are you?
Record Amir's room. Put it on YouTube. Put it on X and notify Dan and Cash at FBI and Tulsi Gabbard at DNI and CIA and maybe local law enforcement. Do something instead of just listening, because clown house liberals who run this app aren't going to do anything.
This is what we're going to do. I'm loading what?
I'm loading. Why don't you
Wait, you moved John?
So what? He can come back.
Why did you move him?
Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. I'm loading. Why don't you speak?
Bottom violence. He was there the whole time you guys are asking him to speak.
He was there the whole time. That's my point.
And he wrote in the chat, why would I speak now?
If you want to do something, report the people who are doing this, and take a stand against the exploitation of women, against the genocide of Jewish people, against. I don't even talk about other people for the most part. I try to avoid it, but I thought this really crossed the line. And if you want to know whether the three-letter agent are recommending some of the warning signs of sex trafficking, like women not making eye contact, women not allowed to hold their own passport, women not allowed to hold their own ticket. Extremely helpful. That's very productive, and you're a brave woman. I'm not going to call you out by name unless you want.
I mean, Clown House created Anonymous for a reason. It's because you can't police this unless you can do it anonymously. So take action now and do something anonymously. Live stream and you publish these terrorist cocksuckers to the internet so we get some social equity justice, because these murderous, psychotic, low IQ neurotics are on here spewing hate speech all day long. You know, don't just gossip about it. Take action now.
I have a different suggestion. Add to the positivity in the world. If there's somebody you know who's in the crosshairs of this sort of harassment, terror, and crime, reach out to them. Offer to do something nice for somebody. Help somebody that you don't even know. Keep vigilant about this kind of stuff and try to help the next person. It's a very important time right now for us to help each other and to fight this horrible harassment, violence, and negativity. It's not a joke.
if you want now.
John, I apologize for moving you.
Oh, that's okay, Jane. I forgive you. Just report Amir's room. Get some personal justice and satisfaction in this world. Kicking me to the goo will not get you the dopamine you're looking for.
I know. Thank you.
Just activate a new burner phone. Get Anonymous for $5 a month. Set that thing up on a little 3-pronged tripod. Take your other primary phone room. Post it on the internet. Notify APAC. Notify the Jew Hate Database. Notify Benjamin Netanyahu. Notify Ben Shapiro. Notify Dan Bongino. Notify Cash Patel. Notify the DNI, Tulsi Gabbard, CI, and let the world know what these little rats in their bucket of shit are talking about all day long on Clownhouse.
So sometimes rooms get stale, and I offer a hard reset where we open a new, fresh room to talk about things. Is anybody interested in a room reboot like that?
We can do it in this room. I don't know why everyone has to get kicked out and come back.
Yeah, I agree with David. But, it's always worth trying, Scarlett. See how it goes. It's all an experiment, as we all know.
Scarlett, why don't you test the marketplace? Announce that you're going to create a room about some great topic. Go create your room and come back and tell us how your experiment went. What were you thinking about recreating, Scarlett? What topic do you think is going to drive the next conversation?
Well, what's the prompt?
We regularly change topics, and they've got a good one. So far.
And to how they either act or will act positively.
How about a new survey question? Do you like Scarlett with 2 T's or 1 T?
Well, every time I hear someone say 2 T's, it sounds like titties. So it works for me.
Scarlett, why don't you make a poll? That's a great conversational catalyst starter.
How about let me help you with that hard reset, Scarlett. Welcome to In the Muff. These are the 10 rules. Number 1, no threats of violence. 2, no doxing. 3, stay on topic. 4, keep your shares brief. 5, do not interrupt speakers, especially mods. Mods may interject when appropriate. The N-word is forbidden on stage and in the chat. Number 8, don't spam the chat. Number 9, do not bring drama here from other rooms. And 10, English only. PSA, assume that all rooms are being streamed by either John Kitover Incorporated or some other Clownhouse troll. Paul and the team have taken away the mod's ability to remove people that do this when they introduce the Anon feature. Thank you for listening. Your compliance is appreciated. Welcome back, room. Welcome back to In the Muff. Was that just annoying, or did that entertain anybody?
Well, you entertain me because you're entertaining generally. What do others feel about John? Sorry, Joe. What?
How can y'all not think this man is funny? He's hilarious. John, were you a theater kid? Did you go to performing arts school?
No, but well, I was FDR in my 7th grade play, but I have I grew up on movies, so I've been doing impersonations my whole life.
Wait, hold on. You were FDR in a play?
Yeah, in Annie with Daddy Warbucks.
Jesus Christ! So were you wait, hold on. Was it just you and a bunch of intern Japanese people? Like, I want to recorded somewhere.
Yeah, it's on VHS, and then I have the newspaper clipping where I'm sitting in the wheelchair with Annie for the head of our local newspaper.
I want to see it. It sounds good.
I had a full head of hair in the 7th grade. Yeah, my song was Tomorrow. You want to hear Tomorrow by FDR from Annie? Tomorrow, tomorrow, you'll love me. Tomorrow, you're only a troll away. Tomorrow, tomorrow, I'll troll you. Tomorrow, you're only a YouTube recording away.
John, how is it that you had 40,000 recordings posted to YouTube, but the one room that we needed to record, you don't have recorded?
Because it's always in the now, and I have recorded so many Amir rooms for so many nights, and Notified Cash and Dan and Tulsi and Clown House. I tag Clubhouse and a lot of stuff because I respect this app and like this app. But you know, it gets views, but never a retweet, never a like. So I think people just, you know, want to put their blinders on and pray it away.
Our fearless leader has left us. It's just Harry and I, Scarlett's. Monica's here.
A busy day on Clubhouse. We had lots of replays and recordings of rooms. John did a great job streaming on YouTube. The National Guard to defend DC from criminals was a great topic.
Are those things recorded? Because I missed that when I worked.
It was on
the Anson room.
Yeah, the Anson room. I don't think it was recorded on the app, David, but John was brilliant in streaming it on YouTube. You're welcome, guys. All right. Thanks everyone who participated in all the rooms we had today. I'm sure when Mojo gets back to the app, look for another in the muff room. Because that's kind of what he does. Just open it up and see what happens. You guys have a great evening, and I'll see some of you around the clubhouse.
Man, make sure you lay prostrate in front of the fucking Pope. You fucking.
I mean, if he's a Protestant, he doesn't.
Yeah, lay in front of the Pope. You fucking weirdo, and pray to Mary.
Try to pronounce
Hail Mary, and get the fucking rosary.
I'm just saying,
go and confess your sin.
Make me get up.
No one can't be
What?
Sorry. You triggered me with that title, though, because
he can do anything, man. There's no limit. I would have said, like, I never would have thought they would have reversed Roe v. Wade. Never. I would have bet against it. I would have lost. And right now, there's nothing he won't try. So I don't know. I think he likes gay guys, though. He had
he didn't try this. This is not.
I know. But he was the first Republican that had gay rights as part of his campaign platform, and he promoted Rick Grinnell to be the first openly gay ambassador, and then he was member of the cabinet. So I don't think he's got it in for gays. But if he did, they wouldn't be safe, and Obergefell wouldn't stop him.
Sex and marriage ruling. Kim Davis, a former clerk who refused gay couples, brought the appeal. So this was brought by Kim Davis, not Trump. It says 10 years after the Supreme Court extended marriage rights to same-sex couples nationwide, the justices this fall will consider for the first time whether to take up a case that explicitly asks them to overturn that decision. Kim Davis, the former Kentucky County clerk who was jailed for 6 days in 2015 after refusing to issue marriage licenses to a gay couple on religious grounds, is appealing a $100,000 jury verdict for emotional damages plus $260,000 for attorney fees. And a petition for writ of certiorari filed last month. Davis argues First Amendment protection for free exercise of religion immunizes her from personal liability for denial of marriage licenses. More fundamentally, she claims the higher court's decision on the Roe v. Hodges extended marriage rights for same-sex couples under the 14th Amendment's due process protections was egregiously wrong. The mistake must be corrected, wrote Davis' attorney Matthew Staver in the petition. He calls Justice Anthony Kennedy's majority opinion on Obergefell legal fiction. The petition appears to mark the first time since 2015 that the court has been formally asked to overturn the landmark marriage decision. Davis is seen as one of the only Americans currently with legal standing to bring a challenge to this to the precedent. Quote, if there ever was a case of exceptional importance, Staver wrote, the first individual in Republic's history who was jailed for following her religious convictions regarding the historic definition of marriage, this should be it. Lower courts have dismissed Davis's claims, and most legal experts consider her bid a long shot. The Federal Appeals Court panel concluded earlier this year that the former clerk cannot raise the First Amendment as a defense because she is being held liable for state action, which the First Amendment does not protect. Davis, as the Ronan County Clerk in 2015, was the sole authority tasked with issuing marriage licenses on behalf of the government under state law. Not a single judge on the U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals showed any interest in Davis's rehearing petition, and we are confident the Supreme Court will likewise agree that Davis's arguments do not merit further attention. And William Powell, attorney for David Emerald and David Moore, the now married Kennedy couple, that sued Davis for damages, and in a statement said that to ABC News. So this is a renewed campaign to reverse legal precedent. I'm not going to read the rest because there's several sections, but this is being brought by a very specific person, not Trump. So, but I guess it can be attached to Trump because people describe the court as Trump's Supreme Court or the MAGA Supreme Court or whatever. So, so people are really scared about this. I'm not sure it has legs for the reasons that were just articulated. So I'm wondering what the moral panic is about. Now, this got going a month ago, but people know a lot about it today for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's another distraction from the Epstein files. But what do y'all think about what's going on with this?
Two words. Stare decisis. What's that?
Elaborate, please.
So stare decisis is a fancy Latin word for
I know what that means. I'm just saying
yeah, well, maybe others. So the Supreme Court has had a tradition up until Roe v. Wade of not making a dramatic reversal that will change people's lives in a negative way or that will deprive them of a right that had previously been granted to them. Now, please don't bring up the whole Dred Scott thing because obviously enslavement was a moral wrong, and
reversing that was a moral right, so I don't think that counts, is what I'm saying. But Roe v. Wade was the first time that I can think of where they violated stare decisis or the rule of precedent and reversed a right that, potentially half the nation, actually fewer than that because not every woman gets an abortion, but a large portion of the population had a right to count on, according to a previous Supreme Court decision, Roe v. Wade. In other words, stare decisis is precedent, and they don't usually reverse themselves because it undermines their authority, their consistency, and it deprives people of rights. I think this is a long shot for this woman, too.
It's not just about a long shot for her. It's the fact that she's now getting, national media attention. It's a big win for her cause and Protestants nationally that, as her position, she was able to essentially obfuscate same-sex marriages and call it out. I mean, this woman is like the Mother Teresa of us, of heterosexual Christian normative behavior. So, she has an important position. She's on ABC. I mean, that's Disney pushing her out. So, she's in the national consciousness.
I'll point out, I've often got in trouble, often in this room, in fact, for talking too much, but this is the first time I got a little bit of feedback for not speaking enough.
Why did you say that? What people give you feedback without speaking to them?
Just now, you said elaborate.
That wasn't feedback. I just wanted you to.
I'm kidding. I'm just making a joke out of it.
I just want to say one more thing. I love how America does this, how there's always an inversion, always an opposite. It comes out of nowhere, and it's like yin and yang.
I don't think it has a snowball's chance in hell. At the same time, stare decisis is a principle and not an absolute rule. So you have to look at it from through that lens. But this thing ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's what you might call a norm. No self-reference intended. Like the filibuster.
So Corporation will definitely
like the nuclear option.
So that is the idea of this kind of people.
Not really a law. And this woman is a bit of a kook. And I think her case is a long shot. I think the Supreme Court won't take it up. But I have noticed you probably have to, that it is payback time. And Trump is definitely famous for payback. Now, again, this is not a personal thing with him. But the January 6th people, they've all, I think, been freed. Some of them have even been hired by the Trump administration. Anybody that went after him, they're under the microscope now. Like, I was just thinking he's going after Letitia James, and he's going after Adam Schiff. Trump is in payback mode. And the Democrats are not guiltless when it comes to violating the norms, I believe. I can't remember. Maybe somebody will remember who threw the filibuster rule out of the Senate. And I believe that's called the nuclear option. I should get everything straight. But getting rid of the filibuster, I believe, was the nuclear option. They got rid of it only for judges, as I recall. So you could filibuster to avoid the discussion of the judge in the confirmation hearing. But what we're seeing now is a combination of violating the norms of the Democrats and Republicans, but going after Trump as a candidate was also, I think, a violation of the norms, by the way. Those 4 indictments. So that's an example of the Democrats doing it.
and karma is a bitch, because people get paid back. Now, this woman, in my view, she probably should have said, "Listen, I'm not doing your gay marriage, but let this flirt next to me do it," and then she wouldn't have deprived those people of their legal rights. But she didn't do that, and because of that, she went to jail. It would be interesting to see film of her in her prison outfit or her jail outfit. But I guess she wanted to make a federal case out of it. She wanted to make a publicity stunt out of it. So she did her little stint, her week in jail, and now she's looking for vengeance. I think it's really disgusting, to tell you the truth.
Why do you think she's disgusting, though? I mean, she's literally just doing what she thinks is the right thing to do.
I think the abasement of our political discourse, for not just turning into tit for tat and action and reaction. I mean, they should not have indicted Trump on all those BS charges. I called them BS from the beginning. I was in many clubhouse rooms about him. And now he's paying everybody back who went after him. So now we've got attorney generals. The FBI people are getting in trouble. We're stretching the democracy is elastic, and we're pulling the rubber band to its limit, and we don't want to snap it. We don't want to break it. And they succeeded in getting him elected. I think because they didn't anticipate the blowback. It's absurd for them to have gone after him. It's absurd for them to have violated stare decisis. Absurd with Roe v. Wade. And it is absurd for Adam Schiff to have gone after Trump, lying in Congress repeatedly, and lying on the news night after night after night about this evidence he said he had that he never ever produced. The Russians did. So that was wrong. It was a stretching of the norms, and it's also now wrong. And Trump is hitting back, and it's equally wrong. It's not more wrong or less wrong. But I think Trump is definitely somebody that's stretching the limits more than any other president. And it's got a lot of people freaking out. I'm not freaking out, but I am kind of blown away by his he's outrageous also.
So, has the Supreme Court of you coming late to the party, have they accepted the case, or we don't even know that?
No, they haven't. They haven't even considered it yet, and I don't think they'll take it up. I mean, I think she's a wing nut.
That was my take. I mean, if I understand correctly, it was a clerk in Kentucky refused to give a marriage license. Is that how the core of this?
She turned it into a publicity thing. Her picture's at the top of the room. She's a real looker, Take a look at this woman. And she violated the law by not giving this couple a license. And, in order to uphold religion, it's not a religious freedom case, because she could have just said, "Listen, I don't feel comfortable doing this. Go talk to the next guy at the window next to mine. Maybe he'll give you a marriage license. Or go to the next county. I mean, I'm just not, she would have been wrong, but she didn't have to turn it into a thing, It's the same thing with the cupcakes, or the wedding cake, or the graphic design, the website, where it's like somebody going in and demanding that you make them a wedding cake. It's a little bit absurd. So they pushed the norms in that regard, if you remember those cases. The website and the wedding cake for the gay couple.
They talk about the supposed gay wedding cakes a lot, but what's the actual cake made out of? Is it peach? Is it strawberry? Is it blueberry? Like, what kind of cakes are we talking about specifically?
I'm already put on. I know you are. Knock it up. I'm a serious discussion.
You know, I think there is no such thing as fate with regards to this topic. The truth is not. A burger fell. It's a German word, right? Last name?
Hodges made gay marriage legal. In 2022, the Congress under Democratic control had that couldn't happen.
That was supposed to be like protection against no returning. But apparently they'll return it to the time, so I don't know. I don't know what that law does.
I mean, the whole thing with Clarence Thomas, right? He's been saying this since basically it was announced that his premise is that the U.S. Constitution doesn't provide you this type of privilege, right? It is an additional interpretation to have this as a codified benefit, whereas just like the U.S. Supreme Court, the Constitution basically points to restraints on certain limitations, but it doesn't explicitly say that these benefits are something that should be legalized. So that's been his argument for like decades, right? That's been the premise of this position, and that is a fundamentally more conservative interpretation of the Constitution, which is, so he's been hinting at this for a while, but I don't know in public, first of all, they're even going to take the case, rats, but it is, it's pretty high. Higher than it's been. It used to be 20-something, right? And then you have independents, which are about 17% that support it. So, like, if it does get overturned, it's actually going to be a benefit to the Democrats, because this is an issue that the Democrats can use. Bad for the gays, but good for the Democrats.
Just like the Dems to weaponize.
Right. We just did it more discreetly.
It's just the Democrats do it more.
They're more open about it, but like poor whites in Appalachia. Speaking of poor whites, I know this is slightly derailed, but I was looking at polling, and only 40% of Republicans believe that Mr. Vance should be the next successor to the MAGA movement. That's actually quite. She's Indian. Yep, back to India. Thank you for Melania. Yep, back to India. Thank you for Melania. Married to Japan or wherever the fuck she's from. Slovenia, I think.
Is there anybody married to a U.S. citizen? Is there anybody married to a U.S. citizen? Jason, are you aware of people in marriages with U.S. citizens getting into trouble with us?
Yeah, it's in the news.
Oh, well, I don't watch that.
How'd you find out about it?
No, I'm asking if that's in a scenario, how the scenario is playing out.
Yeah, I got you.
Because I was under the impression that you pretty much, if you were legitimately married to a U.S. citizen, you could just get a green card by virtue of that.
You can, but there's like a bunch of like weird exceptions. Like the process takes a while, so like if they catch you before you have one, they can report you. It's like all these weird reports. It's actually quite sad. It's ruining people's lives, actually. It's not a play.
Do you think it's fair to refer to your fellow Americans as Gestapo or other, terrible Nazi references? Do you think that's unfair to say that about your fellow Americans?
Oh, this is a free country. We have free speech. Say what you want.
I'm objected to calling ICE Gestapo.
marked. I've been seeing like the rhetoric that the protesters are using when they're filming ICE agents. And when you're filming a guy that's wearing a billboard that says Department of Homeland Security, ICE Enforcement and Removal Operations, right? Like on the front of his vest, on the back of his vest, on his hat, on the badge clipped to his belt, right? On the side of the car where it says, DHS Border Patrol with a big marked reflective green stripe, right? And they're like, who are you? We don't know who you are. It's like, if you can't observe the obvious, like, billboard nature of their markings, some of them
You're not being honest. Some of them don't have that. First of all, so to be clear about it. Secondly, even if they didn't have that clear indicators of their eyes, if you can't see their face and they do something illegal, you don't really have much recourse to hold them accountable. That's what life is. No, I am reasonable.
No, I was going to say real quick that there are plenty of videos where the ICE agents are wearing all black or nothing that identifies them. And then the truck is unmarked and they grab these people and put them in the vans or whatever. Right? I have not. You can literally Google it. You're not being honest here. There are some, yes, that are marked, but there's also a lot that are not. And I think we have to be honest here.
I think you're misrepresenting the ratio. Because I've seen a lot of the videos. Hold on. Okay. I've seen a lot of the videos.
The ratio point that you're about to use to not like pivot away from the mistake you made. Stop the development. The thing is, there are people who work for ICE, allegedly, who it's not clear that they do because they don't have any of the indicators you described at all. And the reason why they don't is because they're basically undercover. And they don't want to alert people to their presence. It helps them get arrests. That's why they do it. It's a serious fucking practice. This happens all over the place. So, like, right on the tonight doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so if it happens,
but that reporting. So what I'm saying is that I've noticed people with those talking points in mind who are talking to very obviously marked federal law enforcement, and the bulk of the federal law enforcement that I've seen actually on the ground being used to make arrests are mostly Border Patrol agents in their issued plate carriers, and a sprinkling of ICE deportation officers and HSI agents and other agencies, but the vast majority being Border Patrol in plain clothes with vests.
Okay, fair enough. Like, that does happen. But you are levying the criticism of these people that they are being ridiculous because in some footage, it's obviously clear that there are ICE agents. It's like, that's weird because you're missing the point. Like, I don't know why you didn't point that. Why would you go down that road? Like, there's legitimacy to their worry. Because there are...
Like, they're taking... So there are absolutely law enforcement operations where they use unmarked vehicles and wear plain clothes and might tell you you're under arrest or show you something, but they're not obviously, easy to determine.
That's what they're complaining about. That's the thing they're complaining about.
But that is items except their neck badges. I remember like one video of that.
Alright,
so this characterization that the vast majority by lots of marked agents seems like the opposite is what's actually happening on the ground. The majority of them are marked.
They're marked ICE agents as if they didn't exist. That was the initial premise, and now it's like we're talking about the majority versus the minority. That wasn't the initial argument that was made. You never said the majority of arrests are covered in the minority or not.
What I
never said that. You went straight to the point of calling people delusional for being upset about these people that are unmarked, and that is where the logic doesn't make sense.
No. What I said was that I'm seeing these people who have taken this talking point to heart, who are then deployed in a situation where every single law enforcement officer involved is clearly identified as exactly who they work for and who they are. So there's no plainclothes undercover officer taking law enforcement action in these videos that I'm talking about, but they're acting as if they are. And that's what's silly and delusional. But there's a lot of videos. I'm not saying that somebody's saying this when there's like two guys in a hoodie.
Acknowledge the truth of what you're saying. It's just what's disingenuous about it is you're not acknowledging the validity of the actual complaint that comes from the left. Like, that's what's weird about what you're doing. But yes, there are examples. I've seen them. There are examples where people are like describing what's going on, and like the examples they have in the footage are ICE agents that are clearly marked ICE agents, but they're describing the issue of unmarked agents covering their faces in unmarked cars, quote unquote kidnapping people. That's how they're describing it. But what they're showing you is not examples of that. I've seen that several times. That exists. Like, I'm not gonna pretend like that doesn't exist, but like, dude, what we're trying to get you to do is not pretend like what they're actually describing doesn't exist, because it does exist. Like, and there are problems with it that are reasonable. Like, so I don't know why you're putting all this attention on the silly thing the leftists are saying. I mean, you could do that, but like, I feel like the steel man version, what they're trying to get at, is more interesting and fair, because like, I don't know, bro. Like, when the left like bastardizes strong arguments you think the right has, and you balk at that and be like, they're not even getting it right. This is not what we mean. We mean this. Like, so to be fair to them, like, I feel like that's just fair across the board.
But these complaints of completely unmarked law enforcement action, where are the videos of that? Because I haven't seen more than one. They're all, and I've watched a lot of videos on the subjects. Okay, they're all over, and I've seen it in person live with my own eyes. I'm not saying the left isn't going too far, and it's utterly ridiculous to think that if 5 or 6 guys are coming up on you like that, there's no way they're there to kidnap you and rape you. That is like farcical to believe that that's going on. But I'm with Muse on this one. I've seen it with my own eyes. I rolled up on one of these situations. They were not marked. There was 12, 15 of them. They had an entire street blocked off. They're taking their extreme opinions and not really getting to it.
I mean, there are credible allegations that there were people impersonating federal agents, I believe ICE agents, who really weren't ICE agents. But because ICE has this practice where they are marked, like they were kind of convincingly disguised as those kind of ICE agents, and that poses a danger. And I think that's a reasonable thing to be worried about or wary of, even if it's not happening the majority of the time, because it could happen, right? One kind of infamous case recently is you had the assassination of those lawmakers in Minnesota. The dude who shot those people was impersonating a police officer, right? Like, that actually happened. That's how he like got access to not an undercover police officer. Like, fair enough. No, he was just a regular police officer. But the point is, it kind of demonstrates the concept, right? And like, that's why people, I think, have a reasonable concern about it. Now, there are people who are taking it, you know. This is the thing that just bugs me so much, is that the crazies have a way of undermining the reasonable people, and then Manville and people like Manville who are disingenuous cite the crazies in order to dismiss the genuine or reasonable concern. And I don't think that you should do that. That's not fair, right? Like, there's a rational basis to be concerned about the way that these policies are being implemented, because a reasonable person is left unable in an instant or at a moment's notice to disambiguate between a bad faith actor impersonating an ICE agent or an actual ICE agent. And then on top of that, the actual ICE agent may not be that much better, because the actual ICE agent was not identifiable, can do something untoward or literally illegal, and then there's no real recourse. The dude can't identify who was the person who perpetrated the harm. That's a problem. Like, that's objectively a problem. Like, what the fuck? Like, I feel like even if you agree with ICE, you should be able to recognize why that's a problem.
So that's the problem that gets gets lost in the argument of these things.
Yeah, I agree. We have the ability to get nuanced, recognize and identify the extremes, recognize and identify the more sensible kind of range to operate in, and then just operate in that range. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
Okay, so can you see the reason why they want to be masked up and think that a badge is the right solution to mediate between the two?
Yeah, I do. I see the reasons that are given, particularly when you have crazy people doxing them. Yeah, but I'm acknowledging the reasonableness of the concern from the left side because I do think that there's validity there. Right? I'm willing to recognize validity on the other side too, but I'm really going against what Manville's doing right now, right? So it may seem like I'm one-sided, but really I'm a counterbalance to Manville right now.
No, we see your objectivity. So,
I detect sarcasm, but that's what
Mark, all right, ballistic vest, Border Patrol Agent Jay Rodriguez, right? There's, Border Patrol Agent Jay Rodriguez, right? There's hundreds and hundreds, probably over 1,000 of them, but maybe their own internal affairs. It might be more their own internal affairs. It might be more difficult depending on the connections you had into the agency. But if you had an arrest time, arrest location, an operation that was being conducted, and especially if you had video of the operation, right? You took that to a lawyer and like, hey, these guys violated this, and this, and I want to get paid. That lawyer can file a FOIA request and go, I want the rosters and the briefing and the personnel assigned to the operation that occurred at this date and time at this location. And they're going to have that.
Okay.
And on the arrest and in the process,
because FOIA requests are often not cooperating with me. Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, I guess. It's just we don't live in a perfect world. It's just I don't know, man. It's dicey what you described, but I hear what you're saying.
And I know people don't use Axon body cameras usually unless they're in law enforcement, right? Or it's part of their job. But those body cams, the way that they have integrated into the systems of evidence, it's not just the body cams. Those motherfuckers own evidence.com. Most agencies are using them to cloud store massive amounts of their evidence. And they will not only tell you, it's a very intelligent device, and it can not only tell you who it is and who's recording it because it's assigned to a person, but it can tell you who was around it, who flipped their taser, from off to on, and at what time, and how far away were they from this body cam. All of that data is in it. And so you can not only see, if you request the data of this body cam in this incident, you get all the other ones that it was connected to. And there are investigators at private defense attorneys firms
like Jade subjects more time. Do you just acknowledge that there's a problem with masked ICE agents?
They are less identifiable.
Because that was the thing that you kind of started by dismissing.
It's true that they're less identifiable.
Their social media accounts, it's basically they're protecting themselves from being doxxed because they want to use their social media accounts. It's basically they're protecting themselves from being doxxed because they want to use social media. Are we arguing about something else?
No, we were arguing about the merits of the concern with that practice.
Yeah, because the argument is if they committed a civil rights violation, they should be doxxed to people that could file a complaint against them.
Well, that's okay. I didn't advance that argument. I think that argument's silly, but there are people who do justify it for sure. They think that they whatever negative things come by doxing because they're the Gestapo or some shit. But
I'm not saying
I'm saying
It makes accountability for untoward behavior in their official capacity as ICE agents really difficult, and that's a problem because they're violating people's civil liberties, and it emboldens bad actors because they think they can do that with impunity.
It's the same reason we shouldn't allow, masks in public now that COVID has gone back. And what I have noticed problem now with the way people behave,
but it's
when they feel
worse though,
honest.
because the law enforcement have a higher standard of conduct, not a lower standard of conduct. So it's analogous. So if you can understand it in the context of black bloc rabble rousers from the left doing untoward shit, then I think you can understand it when it's ICE. It's not difficult to grasp.
Yeah, and you could say instead of allowing these ICE agents to be masked, right? ICE agents are going to be completely uncovered and identifiable, and anybody participating in doxing them, right, is going to get charged with a whole bunch of federal charges and go after them.
It depends on the law. I don't know how actionable. Doxing to a certain extent is illegal, but I don't know how actionable it is in terms of everybody who participated. I don't know what bar needs to be met in order to prosecute. So
Well, people don't want to go through the experience of being doxxed because there is no justice after you're doxxed.
I don't know what that means.
I think there was something going on in Seattle or Oregon. There was some kind of counter protest to some of the Black Bloc activities that was going on. Do you remember the Patriot group with shields and Viking paraphernalia that kind of went toe to toe? Before Proud Boys really took center stage, but there was really some counter protest that ended up in a street brawl at some park between Antifa and the right wing group. But what happened?
In the middle of the day.
Yeah, in the middle of the day, posted on YouTube, people getting in this fight.
Charlottesville.
No. This was in Oregon or Washington.
I remember things like that. I don't remember it being in Oregon, but
there's was it prayer or it was some kind of prayer thing?
There is a group that was involved in some of those events, but I don't know the specifics of what you're referring to be honest.
So, what happened to one of the people that was captured in a clip that went viral considerably more than the other ones was that after that one incident repeatedly, he had people that kept visiting his house, throwing rocks through his windows. His tires got slashed 4 or 5 times while he was sitting in the driveway. And he just kept having these self-motivated members or associates of Antifa coming by and fucking his property up and then taking off in the middle of the night.
I vaguely remember something like that. I think Tim Pool's covering that shit.
Well, how many times has Tim Pool been swatted?
A bunch of times. I don't know.
For people who rail against the overstepping of the United States' police state, they sure love calling SWAT teams on people they don't like.
That's a form of harassment.
That can get people killed.
It's been done to people on the left too, to be fair. Yeah, they could. That's probably why they do it, to be honest.
You know what's a good book to read about this? We're just talking about this at dinner, Duncan, the little brother's home. And federal government control was because the seat of government at first was in Philadelphia. There ended up being some form of troops in the Revolutionary War that marched to Philadelphia and went to bars and bitched about how they hadn't been paid. and Alexander Hamilton called session of Continental Congress, really not all that important at that point, and got a district that the federal government could control itself, which is where we get the solid federal district from. In the middle of the 1800s, believe it or not, we treated them as a territory. We gave them a board of governors, and they promptly ran up so much foreign debt that France, Denmark, and Belgium would have, if they had been allowed to continue, would have owned mainly their affairs in what is now Washington, D.C. Just thought you guys would find that interesting. The book's called Empire of Mud.
And now the feds have taken it back.
Well, so apparently the last time it was exercised, this boy was under Lyndon Johnson for the Civil Rights March. I don't know if it was for the Civil Rights March or for the Vietnam War protests. But this all comes out of, again, the book called Empire of Mud. Apparently, it's a very good book about the history of early D.C.
And what is the status of, like, owning property in D.C.?
I don't know. But it's a good question. I'll see if I can find the book and look at it.
Yeah, because there are, like, obviously there's lots of federal, like, out and out federal property within D.C., but there are, like, individual private residences, too.
Yeah, private homes.
That's yeah. Have y'all been seeing videos coming out of this, like, surge in DC, or have they not really hit yet? Surge, like surging federal law enforcement into like DC streets.
No, you sound like you're super excited about it, though.
Oh, I think it's gonna be awesome. They're finally gonna find out what over-policing is like. Well, then the other question is, who runs the jail in DC?
Seems like something you can Google, though. If you really want to know.
Because it's not a county, right? There's no sheriff of DC.
Not that I'm aware of, no. Apparently the taking over is done under something known as the Home Rule Act or something like that.
So they have a Department of Corrections within the district government, but they don't have a sheriff. And they only have 2,100 beds.
Jason, just so you know, I don't usually like drama, but I think if you want to know, Chuck Mallinckrodt is still crying. I was in a room earlier today, and he went out of his way to cry about you. Just so you know,
That sounds about right. He was in my back channels being smug like he wanted to. That was hilarious.
Just so you know, he has become a giant baby about it.
I can tell. Dude took a tantrum about something very weird. I don't understand to this day why he's so bad about it. Like, it was a bet he backed out of. I told people he backed out of and he got mad. I'm like,
Chicago and Seattle.
Like, to this day, I'm like, but then after that, he also he has this weird take. So he's like, he thinks I'm still in the bed that he backed out of. I was like, what? You can't have it both ways. You can't back out the bed and then go, but you're still in it. I'm like, what? That shit is weird, bro.
It came up in a conversation where he was like, we're never going to have elections again, which is just such a retarded take.
Yeah. I mean, the funny thing is that this whole situation, what's gonna happen though is in 3 years, three plus years, when Trump leaves, he's gonna disappear and he's not gonna say anything about it.
I've heard a lot of people say that they were worried about that, to be honest with you.
Because they're fucking deranged, bro. Like, that's why. They're over the goddamn
He
top.
literally said you're never going to do this.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can join the crew.
I'm not. I'm just sharing.
Yeah, I know. Trump like fucks with people. He thinks this shit. He says shit like that all the time. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. Like, honestly, I'm so fucking confident. Like, I'm just gonna wait 3.5 years and then rub y'all's face in it. That's what I'm gonna do. Because motherfuckers say shit like this and then they fucking like disappear. They don't apologize or nothing. They just wrong takes. That shit never comes to pass, and they just move on. So yeah, I'm not.
Sounds like you're projecting.
I didn't make any predictions like that. How am I predicting?
Projecting. Oh, it just sounds like the accusations you're lobbying against this party is I kind of saying similar stuff that I hear you do. Oh, not happy with that one. Not that happy. Not that happy.
Like today he was a little calmer, to be fair to him, but it was like, bro, you were already.
Maybe he's not wrong.
Like,
maybe he's not wrong.
We will see. And I'm gonna bring it up every once in a while. Like, do y'all still believe that dumb shit y'all said about Trump not leaving off? Alright, let's make sure.
He ain't wrong. Kitover ain't wrong.
As you were.
Kitover ain't wrong.
So yeah, Theodore Herschel. That's what
we don't need them. America can, the United States, it wouldn't be pleasant, but the United States has the resources to exist and service its infrastructure and food needs by itself. France is the only other country, is one of the few countries who can also do that. But Germany can't. England can't. Germany doesn't have enough power. Most of Europe doesn't have enough power. That's why they were buying all that oil from Russia. And now they're going to be buying it from other countries. And Trump knows that. So, yeah. He's in charge.
But I'm just curious. So, like, Armenia, a Christian country, which I have to ask, like, why are they doing that?
Why does Israel have an alliance with Azerbaijan? Because Azerbaijan is able to get intelligence on Iran. Azerbaijan provides something like 40% of the oil that buys weapons. It buys weapons from Israel. So that the relationship between the two countries is very deep. And they've had that alliance for a while now. So those are the short answer. And most basic answer to that question is what I just said.
So it doesn't matter whether or not you're Christian. It's just like Israel wants the whatever benefits them the most.
Oh, you mean in terms of Israel and Armenia?
Yeah.
All the districts down here, D+5, because they're using 2024 numbers for Hispanic turnout, and they're saying, oh, because they turned out.
They had a phlegm issue, and they were trying to spit on the ground, and then the Christians dove in front of the spit. And then the Christians are claiming that the Jews are spitting on them. It's anti-Semitism.
And then they did fucking the USS Liberty. They fucking bombed. They bombed the USS Liberty. And then
to target these things. None of those programs have ever included deploying military units into the Sphinx. So is there a crime? Yes. Has it been going in the wrong direction? No.
Does people think that Trump lives in opposite world? Because that's what I think.
so that we can fucking like gain Palestine. We want Palestine, so we're gonna kill all these damn British people. So you're gonna give us our shit. Regardless.
There was a lot more attacks, not just King David Hotel bombing. They did a lot of attacks. You know why? Because the British were limiting Jewish immigration. Very racist. And they eventually decided not to give you a state, Alan. That too, yes. They wouldn't give us our state. They said in 39, they said you got us in a state, not a Jewish state. Again, you get the Jewish state. You don't realize.
Right? They're not looking at it from the perspective of what's actually going on. They're looking at it from the perspective of how do we deal with it. Right? That's the major.
Yeah, there are a lot of like.
Thank you for justice.